like everyone said, like all of us in the industry, thank you guys for being here on a Saturday. I'm gonna keep mine short. I know it's been a long day, but it's great to see different faces. We do collectively, we do many different workshops and outreach events, but to see new faces and you guys taking interest in agriculture, you know, it's very optimistic because, you know, I'm not sure if Scott said it, but, you know, agriculture, 0.4 the state budget, less than 0.5%. We need a bigger investment, and I think this is a great investment with you folks here. I'd also like to start by saying, you know, everybody's talking about food. Everybody associates agriculture with food. But please remember, agriculture is much more than just food. It's food, feed, fiber, fuel, and floriculture. Here in Hawaii, we've got a vibrant nursery industry. You know, some don't even consider coffee or macadamia our iconic crops as food. So my talk is kind of about ag crimes, which covers all ag. But food is very important, and the governor has a goal of doubling our food production by 2020. So just some stats, and I think I'm a true reflection of why we need to adopt technology, as the director said. I don't have a PowerPoint. I don't even know how to do a PowerPoint. I'm not joking. I didn't even know what it was when Bert sent that thing, sending their PowerPoint presentation. I have paper. I do have, however, technology. I have a laser pointer. So but I'm not joking. Some of our farmers, you know, they don't know how to use email. One of our board members, actually, we have to fax him. So, you know, can cover immigrant farmers. Luisa kind of hinted on it with the picture, but the average age of our farmers here in Hawaii is 60.4, I believe. So between our aging farming population and our new immigrant farming population, you guys are going to be critical for our success. So ag crimes, what is ag crimes? It's not just theft, it's vandalism, it's trespassing. Back in 2004, in partnership with Department of Agriculture and USDA, there was a survey done, and Ken said there's 5,000, I think, immigrant farmers or small farmers, 7,000 farmers here in Hawaii. So we did a survey. This is 2004 now. I'm going to show you why it's important. The impact to the ag, or the losses, the total losses due to theft and vandalism was $11.4 million in 2004. That's 9% of the Hawaii net farm income of $122 million, which is estimated by USDA. Almost 10% impact of the net value. I think right now we're about 650 million, but 11.4 million. Okay. Theft is all over. Theft is a huge problem. And one of the biggest problems, or there's many problems that contribute to what's going on with ag crimes here in Hawaii. Where's ag land located? Where are you guys at right now? Kind of a rural area. Most of our ag lands are 1.1 million acres, rural areas. So there's not as much law enforcement. They have higher numbers of police in the urban areas, the rural areas not as much, but it's rural. So I've got a 5-acre farm, I've got a 20-acre farm. How do I affordably manage that land from theft, vandalism, and trespassing? The cost involved. I think Luisa brought up finding solutions that are affordable, and that's what we're working to do. So ag land beyond the rural areas, it's big. A lot of times you can't live on the farm, so securing your farms is difficult. The next step is when there is a crime that occurs. Right now, a lot of our farmers and ranchers aren't reporting the crimes, and this is why. And not to put down the police departments or law enforcement, we've been trying, we've been working with them, but sometimes there's this opinion that ag crimes aren't high priority crimes. Murders and rapes and grand theft and larger crimes kind of are more the focus. Not as many officers, and then those crimes don't really tend to be high priority. Stealing some bananas, papayas, or stealing a tractor, a lot of times it doesn't resonate as much as it should with law enforcement. So our farmers report it. Rural areas, not a lot of cops. It takes them a long time to get there. Sometimes they don't even get out there. When they do get there and we report the crime, nothing happens. A lot of times. I'm not saying all the time. Many times, nothing happens. Can't catch the guy, there's no evidence, we have no proof. Sometimes when they do catch the person, even before prosecution, there's retribution. So they steal some bananas. We report them. They get arrested. They get out because it's a misdemeanor. They come back and now they vandalize. Now they're gonna burn down my shed or burn my tractor. So one of the complaints we get from law enforcement, and again, we're not supposed to ask you guys for the solution, we'll see what the challenges are, is the reporting. Because our farmers and ranchers aren't reporting as much anymore, law enforcement is telling us, we don't see an issue. We don't see the high numbers that you guys are reporting. That 2004 study said trespassing incidents, okay, on ag land totaled 39,632, okay? So this is the survey. This is not official with law enforcement. 1,237 were reported to law enforcement. So out of almost 40,000, only 1,200 were actually reported. So this is what's going on. There's, it's difficult to report. You got to call, fill out reports. Immigrant farmers sometimes maybe they don't want, that language barrier. They're not comfortable with law enforcement, not comfortable with having to fill out a police report. So, I had a whole bunch that I want to talk about, but I just want to hit the major issues. Again, the retribution, which leads to more theft, vandalism, or just straight destruction of property, malicious stuff. You heard Bert talk about the papaya. There were several incidences. I mean, just acres of cutting down. Okay, that's money that the farmer had put into his land already, into the soil, bought the seeds, paid for the labor, paid for whatever inputs he needed, maybe ready to harvest, and hopefully, if can, break even better, make a profit. Farmers make razor-thin margins, cut down, gone. Okay? Everybody says, well, you can get a loan. The loan's got to be paid back. You've probably got a loan to put that first crop in the ground. So our farmers and ranchers are hesitant these days to report because, again, nothing's being done. Now, there are some efforts, and I won't go into what Scott's doing up in a pilot program up in the Big Island to, focus on ag crimes. Again, have somebody in the prosecutor's office really focusing on ag crimes, being in the industry, knowing maybe who the players are, so we can at least, minimize the amount of theft that's being done. I mean, I've heard, and if you listen to HPR, I think I said it, and it's kind of joking, but, there's some truth to it. Farmers would know that the crops they plant at the borders of their property is going to be stolen. I mean, our nursery guys get hit all the time. And we're talking about $100 plants at a pop. So again, some of the food safety traceability issues, that's something that maybe with ag crimes we can look at. I think I talked about farmers don't report crimes. There is a law in the books that requires you to prove ownership if you have, if you're transporting or in possession of ag products of 200 pounds or $100 or more. And it's something that kind of helps because a lot of guys will steal from our farms, they'll take it to Chinatown. They'll sell it at the farmer's market, sell it to a vendor. Unfortunately, with that particular problem, there's really no verification. You need an invoice, something that somebody can just create on their computer. So, we have some laws in place, and we've been trying to strengthen ag theft and ag crime laws, but not much has been done. Another problem we have is with our efforts to increase the penalties, to strengthen ag theft. We haven't been doing a very good job communicating to law enforcement, communicating to the police departments, to the prosecutors, and even to the judges on what those crimes are and what the real impact is to farmers. I mean, everybody supports farmers. Everyone wants to support and buy local. Farmers are aging. Okay? Farmers are having trouble finding people to take over. They're getting ripped off. Things are getting stolen. They're not making money. Why continue farming? Okay? Farming is first and foremost a business. And if you can remember that and do what Luisa asked you guys to do, find affordable tech solutions for our industry, I think that'll go a long way. We've been dealing with the same problems for decades. So again, I mean, it's great to see you guys out there, and we hope, I know it's a commitment today. We've got 2 days next weekend, so we really appreciate what you guys can do. And a new set of eyes, looking at not really new problems. And we really hope that all of this, and I did hear, again, I'll confirm, I did hear from HTDC, from Robbie, from Director Enright, there will be funding out there. Even Farm Bureau, we're looking at contributing some funds. I mean, we really want to help our farmers, our 7,000 farmers here in the state of Hawaii, because if we want to grow our industry, we want to get closer to food security, We want to contribute to the economy. We need to help support our farmers and ranchers. So again, guys, thank you for being here.